Shalom, shalom, shalom to the 12 tribe that scattered abroad. Shalom, shalom to the 12 tribe that scattered abroad. Welcome back to Reading the Bible with your brother Nehemiah. I am Israel, a true seeker of Yahweh. Like, share, subscribe, comment. First of all, we're going to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. We want to give praise to We want to give praise to the Father and the Son. We want to always thank Him and glorify Him for what He had done for us and what He brought us to. Today, man, we're gonna get into Exodus chapter 18. We left off reading Exodus chapter 17 the last time. I know it's been a while. I'm trying to get over this upper respiratory, whatever it's called, but I'm trying to get over it. So I feel a little better today. But the last couple of days, boy, I've been really very ill. Very ill. I had to go to the emergency room. I had to. Anyway, we gonna pick up in Shalakit, Exodus 18, but we gonna recap on some of the things what we read about in Exodus chapter 17. Y'all can always go back and watch it over what we did back on my YouTube page, what we did on 17. But I'm gonna scam through it for some recap. You know, we had left up out of Egypt and everything. We ended up going into the wilderness of Sin, and we journeyed we followed the commandment of the Lord that we journeyed until pitched in Raphhamdale, and there was no water to drink for the people, and they cheated and they tried against Moses and Aaron, which they wasn't murmuring against Moses and Aaron, they were murmuring against the Father, and he knew it, he hid. So and the people thirst therefore water. And the people murmur against Moses and said, wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? So Moses went and cried unto the Lord, you know, and what the Lord said to the people, Moses told him, when he cried to the Lord, he said, what shall I do unto this people? They almost about to ready to stone me. They ready to stone Moses and kill Moses like it was Moses' fault. Remember, they in Egypt, they cried for help. They cried out to the Lord, and the Lord heard they prayer, and He answered them, and He saved them, and He brought them out. And now they in a pot, and they in a spot like they thirst for water. Then He turned, throw the tree in one of them and made the water sweet because the water was bitter. And they still got problems. But this is Israel. This us. This how we are. And He called the name. Wait, hold on. He told Moses to he said, and the Lord said unto Moses, go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, take the 24 elders of Israel with them, and thy rod, where thou smotest the river with. And behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did exactly what the Father said in the sight of the elder. And they called that place Massa, and Marbon, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted the Lord. You don't supposed to tempt the Lord. They tempted the Lord. And that angered the Lord. The Lord got very angry at them about that. So after that, they saying, is the Lord among us or not? And then came out Amalek and fought with Israel and wrapped them down. I know I'm not pronouncing that word right. And Moses told Joshua to choose out some men and go out and fight with Amalek tomorrow. And he will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joseph did as what Moses had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moses and Aaron and Hur, they stood up there at the top. Long Moses kept his arm up with the rod. Israel was prevailed over Amalek. But when Moses' arm came down, Amalek prevailed over Israel. So Aaron stood on one side and Hur stood on the other side, and they stood and hold up Moses' arm. And when they helped them hold that up, we prevailed over them. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. He gonna destroy Amalek. We gonna always be into it with Amalek. We gonna always be fighting Amalek. Amalek is Esau. That's Esau them his people. If I'm not, hold on, let me make sure. Let's go back for a minute because I want to make sure. I don't want to lead nobody astray. So like Amalek referred to a biblical nation, descendants of Esau. They are Esau folk. And them the so-called white people, Esau. Edom is Esau. Amalek is one of Esau's grandsons, if I'm not mistaken. And we gonna be, and it said, for he said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Meaning we in war with them now. For generation to generation. And that's what he sworn to us. So this what we're gonna begin in chapter 18. We're gonna pick back up in chapter 18. Oof. Salaki. So everybody get out their King James Bible with the Apocrypha and open up to Exodus chapter 18. We begin at verse 1. This is the book of Exodus chapter 18, verse 1. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, and that the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. So Jethro, like I said, it wasn't just for only the Egyptian. It was for the world. Jethro, he a Midian. That's Moses' father-in-law. Moses' wife, Zipporah, father. So he heard what God did for us, what God did for Israel. He heard that God brought us out of there and fought for us. He heard all these things. Verse 2. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back. Now Moses had sent her back Cause there was a lot going on. He couldn't be dealing with his wife right there. He couldn't be dealing with his wife or his children. He was doing what the Lord wanted him to do. So he had a job to do for the Lord. So that's bigger than anything. You know, you got to put the Lord first. He said, put nobody before him. So you have to do what the Lord asks you to do. If not, you failing to follow commandments. So then Jethro, verse 2 again. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back. Verse 3. And her two sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom, sojourning. That meaning where he sojourned at when he in Midian, when he met his wife, where he sojourned at. For he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. See, when he left Egypt, remember he did what he did and killed one of the Egyptians, and then he went out and see his two fellow Israelite brother, one beating on the earth, they were fighting, and one was over the earth. And he came out and said something about, what, you gonna kill me like you killed the Egyptian? And Moses thought like, well, damn, if he heard it, so I know Pharaoh gonna hear it soon or later. So Moses went on the run. And he went, that's where he went to beat it. That's the way he ran into a strange land. Salakia. Verse 4. And the name of the other was Elzar or Elizar. Elzar or Elizar. Let me get that, see what it shows how to pronounce. It ain't even showing how to pronounce it. But it meaning God is my helper, or my God helps. That's what his second son name meaning. So verse 4 again. And the name of the other was Elzar. For the God of my father said he was mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. He delivered Israel from the sword of Pharaoh. Brought the Red Sea over, which he did, brought us out of Egypt. Our ancestors, I ain't gonna say us, because it was our ancestors, brought our ancestors out of Egypt. Verse 5. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his son and his wife unto Moses into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of God. Now, the scripture do say when a woman marry, when a husband and a wife marry, they become one. So Zipporah really belongs to Moses. So I feel like that's why her father brought, Jethro brought his wife and his two sons to him. But it wasn't just that. He came to where they encamped at. And at the mount of God. Remember when Moses was walking around with Jethro flock, he was tending to the flock, and where he see the burning bush at, this where they at the mount of God. Verse 6. And he said unto Moses, I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife and her two sons with her. So he came to bring him his two sons and his wife. Verse 7. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obsessing, meaning, is I'm pronouncing the word right? Obsessings, meaning bow down. Let's get the definition of it anyway. Because y'all know me. I just have to. Obeisance. Meaning respect. He showed Jethro respect. He said, father-in-law, yeah, you show him respect. So being like I said, he bowed down. He bowed down to him. He respected him. Verse 7 again from the top. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and did obeisance and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare. And they came into the tent. So they talked, asked each other how they were doing and all that. Verse 8. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptian for Israel's sake. For whose sake? For Israel's sake. Now you go to the book of in your Apocrypha, Second Ezra. Where my glasses at? Everything started to get blurry now. You go to the Apocrypha in Second Ezra. He said, for Israel's sake, I think it's verse 6. I mean chapter 6, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, chapter 6, verse 55. All this have I spoke before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. He made the world for Israel's sake. Just the same as just what he just said. What he did to the Egyptian for Israel's sake. That's exactly what he did. Verse 8 again from the top. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to Egypt, the Egyptian, for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way and how the Lord delivered them. The travail, the hardship, all the hardship that had came upon, everything that they went through, with no water, they crying about the water and all that. He took care of Israel. He will fight for us. Just obey. It's not hard to obey. He chastises the one that he loved. So obedience is more bigger than anything. I can't express it much more to y'all about being obedient to the Father and keeping the commandment. He will fight for you. But we already know half of us not going to obey. Half of us going to go off our own understanding, make up our own things. Verse 9. And Jephthah rejoiced for all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptian. Even Jephthah rejoiced for all the goodness that God had did for his people. You know, Jephthah them ain't got the same God we got. They ain't believed in our God. They got their own God. But he know that Israel God is the real God, and he is the one, the creator of heaven and earth. He is that one. Verse 10. And Jephthah said, blessed be the Lord who had delivered you out of the hands of the Egyptian and out of the hands of Pharaoh, who had delivered the people from under the hands of the Egyptian. You see how what Jephthah said? He said, blessed be the Lord who had delivered you out of the hands of the Egyptian. He respected our God. He respected our God. And out of the hands of Pharaoh, who had delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptian, which he brought us out of Egypt. Verse 11. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all God. Listen, you heard what he said? That's why I told they don't have the same God. He said, this what Jephthah said. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods. The only God. Because all the other gods is stone wood. That's what they are. They don't move. It don't do nothing. But stand there, and that's their God that they worship. But Jephthah just said, now I know that the Lord is greater than all God. For in the things wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. Always been. For the thing that they behaved proudly, he was above them. Always. He led us out at night with fire, led us out in day with the cloud. He always was above them. Verse 12. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifice for God. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. So Jethro, this much how he respected our God. He took a burnt offering and sacrificed for God. Jethro did, and that's a Midian. He's not an Israelite, but he respected our God. What he just said, he's above. He's greater than the Lord is greater than all gods. Verse 12 again from the top. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrificed for God. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. Verse 13. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people. And the people stood by Moses from the morning until the evening. Now, the next day came, and Moses stood to judge the people. A lot of people to be judged. And they was there stood by Moses from morning to the evening. That was a lot of folks. A lot of people need to be judged. Verse 14. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? He asked him, why just you? He basically saying, why is just you trying to judge all these people? This is too much for your hand. Basically, if it's the little problem, they should be able to judge for themselves. But if something bigger, you bring it to you. Basically, that's what he's saying. Let's continue. First 14 again from the top. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning until evening? All the people just gonna stand by you from morning to evening? You doing this alone? With all these people? Remember what Moses walked out of Egypt with? He had 600,000 men. Not even counting the children and the women, there's 600,000 men. Just a lot of people. Moses brought over a million people up out of Egypt. Walked out of Egypt. It was over a million, man. 600,000, 500,000 is a half a million. And you had 600,000. And this just not even with the children or the women. These just men. Understand, these just men. And Moses sit here judging all by himself. And that what Jethro like, what? This gonna be very confusing. This gonna be very bad for you. This gonna really stress you the fuck out. It really gonna put stress on you. For real, it is. From evening to morning, verse 15. And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of God. He said, because the people come to him to inquire of God. They ask questions. How we handle this? What we gonna do with this? How we gonna be with this? Where we gonna get the drink? So Moses Moses judging all these things. Because right now, he is the judge. We ain't even he is the judge of Israel. Salakia. Excuse me. Verse 16. And when they have a matter, meaning when they have a difficult, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another. And I do make them know the statutes of God and his law. What God gave us: law, statutes, and commandment. And that what Moses just said to Jethro. I do make them know the statute that God set upon us, and the law that God set upon us. Verse 17. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. It ain't. That's on one man. And you, when they come to you and inquire of the Lord, you the one doing all the judging. Of one man judging all these people. That's a lot. That's stress. You won't get no rest. But this the thing that God, what he say? God turns the heart of a man. He hardened Pharaoh hard. He brought Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, he brought him to him to give him this idea. What we finna read now. Because that's why Moses in verse 17, his father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. Because that's too much on one man. That are too much on one man. Verse 18. Thou wilt surely wear a wig. You see what I'm saying? That's too much. You're going to scratch the man out. Trying to make all these decisions, trying to inquire of all what y'all bringing to him of the Lord. He said, verse 18 again from the top. Thou wilt surely wear a wig, both thou and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. That's why you had the elders of Israel. You can set things apart so you won't have to be stressed out with all this on your own. It gonna wear you out. It gonna wear the people out. It gonna destroy y'all. Which y'all be a nation. Y'all won't become a nation no more. Because it gonna destroy you. It's what Jethro telling him. And he telling him right. Because this is what God put on his heart. I told y'all, Deuteronomy chapter 32, God do all these things. Verse 39, God do all these things. If God worked through other nations, and y'all will see this as we go along reading. We just in the Torah. Giving up all the laws and stuff. The statutes and the commandments. That's all we in. Y'all ain't seen after the 5 books. Wait till we get after these 5 books. When you see how the Lord worked. And he used nation. He used their king to do for us. What he said, he made the world for our sake. All what he did to the Egyptian for Israel's sake. So he used other people. He do. Verse 18 again from top. Thou wilt surely wear a wig, both thou and this people that is with thee. For this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Verse 19. Hearken now unto my voice. Hearken now unto his voice. That's what Jethro telling Moses. Hearken, listen to my voice. Listen to me. Let me show you something. Listen to me. I will give thee counsel. I will give thee counsel. Meaning he will give him advice. He would give Moses advice. Moses could accept the advice Moses can turn down the advice. But let's continue. He said, verse 19 again from the top, hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and God shall be with thee. God shall be with who? Moses. Be thou for the people to God ward, that thou mayest bring the cause unto God. He said, be thou for the people to God ward. I got two. It's like I like this precept in 4:16, Exodus 4:16. It said, and he shall be thy spokesman unto the people. And he shall be, even he shall be to thee instead of a mouth, and thou shalt be to him instead of a God. I like that precept. For God ward. Thou mayest bring the cause unto God himself. See, you bring the cause to God. You be the spokesman of God ward. Be thou for the people to God ward, that thou mayest bring the cause unto God. Verse 20. And thou shalt teach them ordinance and laws, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do.
Ordinance.
A piece of legislation enacted by a municipal authority, an authority, order, a decree. So Jethro was telling him to teach them ordinance, that they need to be in order. Basically, need to be in ordinance and law. To teach them the ordinance and law. To stay attacked for all confusion won't be all confusion. He said, and shall show them the way wherein they must walk. This is what you teaching them, to show them the way how they should be walking in God's statute, in God's law, in God's ordinance. And the work that they must do, and the thing that they must do, being obedient to the Father. And remember, this man is not an Israelite. Jethro is not an Israelite. He's not one of us. He belonged to another nation. They have their own other God. But this is what he teaching. He gave Moses good advice. Did Moses accept the advice? We're going to continue. Verse 21. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men. Take able men, such as fear God, the ones that fear God, the ones that keep the law, the ones that keep the statute, the commandments, the ones that fear God, because there's a lot of them don't fear. The ones that fear God, that's what he telling them. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness. What is covetousness? Let's get the definition of covetousness. Covetousness is an intense, inordinate, or excessive desire to possess something, particular wealth, possession, or advantage that belongs to another. Greed, common sense, greed, envy, grasping. Come on, don't do that. Wow. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's go back. What's the biblical definition of covetousness? In the Bible, covetousness means an insatiable, sinful desire for what belongs to someone else, making it a form of idolatry, where you put possession of worldly things before God. It's especially forbidden in the Ten Commandments and described as the root of many sins, like theft, adultery, and greed, because it stems from discontent with God's provision and a heart divided from Him. So, verse 21 again from the top. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, hating things like that. Hating covetousness. And place such over them to be rulers of thousands. The ones that fear God, the ones that able men, such as fear God, men of truth, and hating covenant, He wants them to place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of 10. See, you break it down. That's why you got generals and higher general, captain, sergeants, soldiers. That's how he broke it down. So they won't bring all the problem to Moses. You just only bring the biggest problem that they cannot solve and handle themselves. You bring it to Moses. And Moses will bring it to the God. And God will give Moses the example what to do. This is what this chapter is telling you about. How he got ordinance in line. This is ordinance of the law. Verse 22. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee. But every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. They shall bear the burden with what Moses going through. All the pressure on Moses, they going to bear it with him. All the pressure they putting down on Moses, like they chanting against Moses. No, we going to break this thing down. Over, over 1,000. Put rulers over thousands and rulers over hundreds and rulers over 50. We gonna break this thing down so y'all can see exactly what's going through. That's why he said he would not, it wouldn't be good for him. If he do it himself alone, all these problems. So we gonna set thousands over hundreds and thousands over rulers, hundreds over rulers, 50s, and 10. And the bigger problem that y'all can't solve, you bring it to Moses. But the smaller thing, y'all can judge. Y'all can judge yourself. They can judge themselves. Verse 22. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee. But every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. Don't put all that burden just on Moses, verse 23. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. That is some very good advice. Because they were going to wear Moses out. Moses probably wasn't going to make it to get there to promised land. Because they still going to worry this man. 40 years. 40 years. They complain. 40 years in the wilderness, they complain. Now this makes plenty sense that he was only talking to Israel. Because it wasn't the world with them. It was not the world with them. All these ordinances and laws and statutes was given to Israel in the wilderness. Who was out in the wilderness? Israel. The world was not there. He destroyed Pharaoh and his army. Goddamn Jethro, Midian, he was back at home with this. He heard these things. So how can y'all just sit here and say that it's the world? This thing is plain and simple as you read it, man. God do not change. You can say, oh, that's the Old Testament. When Jesus died, he died for everybody. No, God do not change. And Jesus ain't going to come change his Father's laws. Jesus came to fulfill. He didn't come to change nothing. He came to fulfill. Let's continue. Verse 23 again from the top. If thou shalt do this thing, and God command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. Verse 24. So Moses hearkened. He listened. He took the advice. Moses hearkened. It wasn't hard for Moses. It ain't hard for you. Just like he said, my laws is not grieving. Grieving to me is not hard. It's not. We make it hard because we don't want to stop doing what we want to do. We want to keep leaning on our own understanding. That would make the laws hard to do. But if you bow down and be obedient, it's not hard to do. Ain't nobody said you can't enjoy life. Ain't nobody said you can't have fun. Did they have fun? They celebrate. We're going to celebrate a lot. They feast. But they had ordinance, laws and statutes they had to do by. They had to hold certain feasts. They Passover. What he said, through generations, throughout your generation. It's a feast throughout your generation. When we fought against Amalek, write this in a book. This going to be a memorial to teach to Joseph, to tell to Joseph. Joshua. I mean, apologize, I'm thinking about Joseph. Joshua. This over the time to come, man. So Moses hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. It made it more easier for Moses. Verse 25. And Moses chose able men out of all Israel, able men, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of 10. So he did exactly what his father did. He took the advice that his father-in-law gave him. Less stress on Moses. Now he endured. And then they can see the burden that they were bearing on him. Because the burden going to be on the rulers of 1,000, on the rulers of 100, on the rulers of 50, on the rulers of 10s. They'll see the burden they sell. They'll see the hurt that they bringing on Moses. Verse 26. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard cause they brought unto Moses. But every small matter they judged themselves. Verse 27. And Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. So that's the end of that chapter. So that let y'all know it was just only Israel in the wilderness. Moses' father-in-law departed and went back to his own land. Yes. Yes. That's the end of Exodus chapter 18. And we will pick back up in Exodus 19 soon. I can't promise you where. I'm still kind of ingesting, but I'm going to get to it. We going to get to it. But Israel, I did want to say something else, man. I pray for our safety. I pray for Israel's safety, our peace. I pray for my nation. Because y'all see exactly what Trump doing. Trump don't even care about his own people. Look how they gunning them down. They got these folk dressing up in masks. You can't identify them. They ain't identifying themselves. They jumping out, putting up in unmarked cars, jumping out. What we supposed to do? This fit to get real bad. See, if y'all can go in your apocrypha and read 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Yes, 2nd Ezra chapter 15. I read the whole chapter, but it gonna begin in verse 14 when it say, "Woe to the world." They just killed, them just killed white man, which it doesn't matter to me. But I'm just saying it for y'all's safety. We don't even know what these folks up under the man, who these folks up under the man. Anybody can go buy a man. Anybody can go buy one of them little suits and put on. Anybody go buy a script and put a police sign on it. These folks ain't got no badge on. These folks ain't showing no identification. They hiding their face up on the man and they gunning us down. They gunned one of their own people down and killed another one. So we have to pray for safety. Because this finna get worse, man. This finna get out of control. And we don't understand that it have to come to pass. This is the beginning of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Let me get that. Book of Jeremiah chapter 30. See what we've been screaming about. Check this out. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Jacob trouble. Who is Jacob? Israel. We are. It say this is Jacob trouble. What they doing, what ICE them doing, how they jacking up our Hispanic people. The Hispanic and Native American, them the same people. You wonder why they look alike. Them the same people. Them our people. That's the northern tribe. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi is the southern tribe. The other 10 tribes is the northern tribe. Them is our people. How you gonna... I know how, because Genesis chapter 27, that was his blessing. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked, Job. But this land belonged to them. And you trying to take these folks out of their own land and talking about sending these folks back. This the thing Trump doing. See, first of all, it's a good thing for and this is a bad thing for The bad thing for us that we gonna get the worst hand of it, but we gonna be saved out of it. The good thing for that we coming to our time. We got next. Meaning when he saved us out of this trouble, that's the ones that fear God. Them the ones that hate covenants. What we read that at in Exodus, that hate covenants. The one that keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Not the ones just out there going on their own understanding, doing what the fuck they want to do. No, not them. Them ain't who he gonna save out of it. He gonna save the righteous one of his people out of it. What he said, 2/3 of them going in the lake of fire. 1/3 going to the kingdom with the 144. And the other 2/3 of our people, they going to the lake of fire. They ain't, them the one gonna be left here. Them the one that Yahweh Shai gonna be destroying too. But y'all be safe out there, man. Trump got these folks, and he taking up for them. Y'all be careful with them guns. My son grown, and he have a gun. I can't tell him not to tote his gun. He grown. But I pray for him every night. And I'm glad my son don't be out there like that. Because it's not just only their people. It's not just only our Hispanic people and Native American people. It's the black people too. They attacking us too. So I pray for our nation. I pray safety. I pray peace. Y'all be careful out there, man. Please be careful out there. Them folk Trump gave them folk the right to come kick in your doors. And they ICE. They for immigration. They don't even supposed to be running the streets like that. They don't even supposed to be doing that all that they doing. But Trump giving them the way. Trump bringing destruction. Trump bringing the end of the world. Trump bringing the World War III in. If y'all ain't paying no attention, why y'all out there trying to club, killing each other, all what you out there doing, still of trying to get into this word and come back to the Father so you can be saved out of this? Because if you get left in this Jacob trouble, that's all I got to say. Woe. And we already know what woe means. Destruction. So Israel. Man. I want to thank y'all, man. I hope y'all got something up out of this, and I hope y'all take what I had said to y'all serious, man. We on our way home. We ill. But everything got to come to pass before we make it there. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to live to see the coming of the Lord. I don't know where he going to call me home. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to make it through the kingdom. But I do know one thing. I'm going to endure and keep the laws to the best of my ability. For real. So with that being said, man, I'm going to close out with the Lord's Prayer. I'm talking about it. I've been watching the news all day about that thing going on in Minnesota. And man, even though it was a white man that they did like that, man, my heart go out to my people, to my nation. Because I know Jacob trouble going to be worse than what they getting. I know. But we going to close this on out. And I just want to thank y'all for, if a man have an ear, let him hear. Y'all need to hearken too. And let's go and close this on out. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thy is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Man, y'all be safe out there. And y'all can find that Lord's Prayer in Matthew chapter 6, verse 9 on down to 12, I think. 9 to 16. Let me make sure. Chapter 6, Matthew chapter 6, 9 to 13. With that being said, man, y'all have a blessed day and stay safe. Kwame Yasharala.